Hey guys, so welcome to the Horoscope 101 channel. I am RossieBoy19. It's Witch and Warlock week this week, and I am doing a film that I absolutely love. It's a 90s film, and when it came out I read it was reasonably successful in terms of, like the target audience, but it was very much overshadowed and casted aside after the release of an even bigger horror film, Scream. So and this film actually has a couple of things in common with Scream. Two of the cast members from Scream are actually in this movie. And the movie that I'm talking about is pretty underrated, and I wanted to kind of give it some publicity and talk a bit about it, and yeah, and it is 1996's The Craft. This stars Robun Tunney, Fairuza, Balk, Neve, Campbell and Rachle. Follows a young girl, Sarah, played by Robun Tunney right there, who you might know from The Mentalist. Skeet Ulrich from Scream is also in this, and Neve Campbell obviously was in Scream. I think that's how you say Skeet's name. Skeet Ulrich, is that right? I think that's how you say it anyway. But yeah, it follows young girl Sarah, who moves with her father and stepmother from San Francisco to Los Angeles. But it's not the Los Angeles that we all know and love from the TV shows and movies, where it all, everything's perfect. It's like, Hollywood, all Hollywood, and this is like kind of run down the dark side, the kind of dangerous side of Los Angeles. And Sarah moves there. She knows no one, but when she starts at a new school, she is taken under the wing of three quite weird girls who are outcast in their school. And after talking to Chris, played by Skeet Ulrich, she is told that they are witches, and obviously she assumes that he's being horrible, but then she finds out that in fact they are actually practicing witches. And after being friends with them for a few days, she then gets involved in witchcraft, and and things kind of at first, all nice. It's like they kind of do little things like levitate things, and do little light things. But then when they're at a shop where they buy their supplies, like their books and stuff for doing the witch stuff, the person who works there says to Sarah that she is an actual witch, that her mum was a witch, and sorry about that phone by the way, and that her mum was a witch, and that her power comes from within, whereas the other girls need to practice it. The other girls need to rely on nature to get their power, whereas Sarah is more or less already had the power all along, which in turn sort of makes her the stronger of the group. But then they also learn pretty quickly that messing with the dark side of magic, that no magic is actually dark, or no magic's black or white. It's magic comes from nature, and they learn this in a very, 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 very dark, in a very serious way, when things take a very twisted and disturbing turn. When Sarah discovers that people are starting to get killed through their spells, and people are getting really badly hurt from things that that they shouldn't have been messing with, and so she goes home one night and tries to bind all of them, even herself. She tries to bind their powers, but because Neve Campbell, Rachle, and Fairuza are very strong, their powers are very strong. When they wished for things, basically their wishes were to get stronger powers, and they got the wish. So because they're stronger, they can basically read Sarah's mind and basically block any spells that she's trying to do. And things take an even darker turn when Sarah discovers that they can read her mind, and things yet again go from bad to worse when Sarah starts getting some pretty disturbing images thanks to her so-called friends, and it takes a very, very, very dark and disturbing turn, and that's where I'm going to leave it. So The Craft is a fantastic film. Like I said, very underrated. I don't really hear that many people talk about it. And I think it's because, like I said, 1996 saw the release of Scream, which is one of my favourite movies of all time. Absolutely adore that movie. I think it's a really great horror slasher movie, which everyone needs to see. And I really do think that this was overshadowed by Scream, but it is still, talked about, very briefly. If people bring up the genre of, witches or witchcraft films, then The Craft will be brought up. But in general sense, it's not really a movie that people will bring up. But at the same time, I do know a lot of people who have seen it, or at least seen parts of it. So, it is underrated, but it's one of those ones that it's on TV quite a lot. I don't know about anywhere else, but in the UK it's on TV quite a lot here. But I do absolutely love it. It's a film that I can watch again and again. It's really powerful, really stands out. It's it's got very strong, as well as being a film about witchcraft. It's also a film about growing up and being happy with who you are as a person. That you can't use things. If you try and change the person who you are, there will be consequences, because that's basically what this film's about. All of these girls in their own way have things in their life that are holding them down, that are holding them back, and they think they can get the easy way out by using magic to get what they want. But in turn, by doing that, they're not being themselves, so they're getting things thrown back at them 3 times worse than what they brought into the world. So not to get too into the story, this is a 15 rated film, but in America it's an R, I believe. Yes, it's an R. It does contain some racial language, racial abuse towards the character. I can't remember her name, but Rachel True's character has a few scenes where she is racially abused by a member of her class, which is not very nice to watch. There's some slight, very, very, very slight and subtle sexual violence in a scene between Robun Tunney and Skeet Ulrich. Very light, but it's more implied that what he was going to do if she hasn't got away, that sort of thing. So I want to make you aware that there are things that some viewers might find a bit unsettling. And overall, it is a disturbing film, it is a horror film, so just be aware of that before you watch it. Now, leading up to the end, it does get pretty dark and really disturbing. For me anyway, I found the first couple of times that I watched this, I found it really, really, really just, an amazing film. One of the best witchcraft films, one of the best horror films of the 90s, because of the fact that it was so well built up. It wasn't, straight away in with the gore, and there's no gore in this, but in terms of horror, it wasn't, full force, in with the tension, in with the atmosphere. It was subtly built at first. The tension built higher and higher, and then when it got to kind of near the end of the film, it just kind of exploded with, this sinister atmosphere, and just, it was just a really amazing film, and and it's really gripping and really tense, and it's a film that it's more of a supernatural psychological thriller than a horror, but because of the psychological element to it, it does make it a horror film, especially in the scenes where Robun Tunney, spoiler here, thinks that she has cut her wrist, and that that she's kind of bleeding to death, more or less. And the scenes where she's run about her house, she's getting attacked by snakes and rats and things like that, that is pretty disturbing, pretty hard to watch at times as well. And it's not for the faint of heart. It does, as I said, it does contain some violence, racial language, and yeah, so just, be aware of that. I want you guys to be as knowledgeable of this film as possible without me spoiling it for you. Now there will be a spoiler warning at the start of the video because I realise I have said about 10 spoilers. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely check out the craft. This is the US Blu-ray. Really hope the UK get a Blu-ray soon, but this is a really good release. It's got loads of special features, and because it's released from Sony Pictures, it has really nice back art. If I can just take that disc out for a minute. It's got really nice disc art of the 4 main characters in the movie, which is a really nice thing. You've got Robun Tunney, Fairuza, Balk, Rachle, True and Neve Campbell. So really nice release. I really think Sony Pictures done a really great job with that. As I said, I'd love to see the UK get a release, but if you are in the UK and you want to see this, it is a collector's edition DVD that goes for like £5 in most stores that I've seen it in, and also on Amazon. I think it's only about £5 or £6. Definitely check this out. It is a fantastic movie. Highly recommend it to anybody, but please be aware of those warnings that I gave you, because I know that, you know, some people might enjoy horror films but they don't like, you know, certain aspects to horror. I know that I don't particularly like, you know, I don't really like paranormal films. That is my kind of weakness when it comes to horror. So, you know, I wanted you guys to be a bit more aware of, you know, the content of this film before you go out and watch it. So yeah, so if you guys like me doing that, if you want me to stop giving you warnings that let you go and watch it, then please let me know. But I just like to know that, you know, I'm giving you all the information before you go out. But I don't want anyone, you know, going into this film, going into any film that I review, whether it's on here or on my main channel, and, you know, getting either disturbed by it or there's something that you're uncomfortable with that, you know, you didn't know was in it. I'd much rather tell you about the uncomfortableness or the kind of scenes that are maybe a bit disturbing, and, you know, tell you about them before you go and see it. Then at least you know it, or, you know, when it's coming up, things like that. But anyway, hope you guys had having a great day, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.